So you quite quickly progressed. So you became the Parliamentary Undersecretary of State for Defence People and Veterans, which is quite a mouthful. Do you want to talk a little bit about the reason why you left that role?
Yeah, I mean, we'd obviously made a series of promises to veterans, and the Prime Minister did, and the Conservative Party did in their manifesto. And and I tried everything I could to try and deliver on those, but it was pretty clear to me that, I was becoming the last person in the room who wanted to deliver on them. We were always going to meet a moment where two pensioner veterans were being charged in a court in Belfast. The case was thrown out and so on, but that for me was there was no greater example of how poorly we treat our people than that spectacle, which was grotesque. And I told the Prime Minister a month before I was going that he had to do something. He had to try and honour one of his promises on these things. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and my position became untenable because I had made these promises to veterans on behalf of the government, but the government wasn't prepared to follow through on it. So as that interface, my position was untenable, and unfortunately I had to go.
Did you find it a very tricky decision to make?
No.
As in you had already made your mind up because you couldn't deliver on this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was always there to get stuff done, right? And if I wasn't going to get stuff done, there's no point being there.
So, speaking of someone who's got family who are Northern Ireland veterans, this is something that we follow very closely. But within your own party, have you found that you've had a lot of support for the stance that you took?
Yes, of course, and particularly in the voluntary party and the wider party and people's chairmen of associations and associations writing, what can they do? Everyone knows this wrong, but the trouble is, in politics, you have to really fight for that space to get your message heard, deliver on this stuff. And, we're still in that space, I'm afraid, where people want to talk a good game about veterans. And I understand that. But in terms of delivery, they're not really committed to doing what's required to make this, for example, the best country in the world to be a veteran, which is the Prime Minister's ambition. That wasn't my ambition, that was his ambition. And we are obviously some way off that. So it wasn't a hard decision to make because, my integrity has been compromised. And, you can feel it when that happens. It's a very tangible moment. And, I was off. I was disappointed. I didn't want to leave. But that's the way it goes.
If you'd like to see the full episodes, go to YouTube or Spotify, Google, Apple, anywhere that you might find a podcast, and we'll be there. Search Commonwealth News.